Franklin was a new pilot flying a small plane from Florida to Texas, back to college. He knew his parents were very worried. In fact, they were praying fervently that he would get there safely. To ease their anxiety, he even brought his instructor along to fly with him. They were south of Jackson, Mississippi at the time that the sun was going down. Meanwhile, at the little airport in Jackson, Mississippi, a man named Sidney was wrapping things up. He had already closed down the exterior lights, and in fact, he was giving an after-hours tour of the control tower to some folks from church. He picked up a light gun and he pointed it out the window. He said, "This is a light that we shine on a plane that is in distress. When they see this green light, they know it's safe to land." He put that down. Meanwhile, up in the air, Franklin was suddenly in trouble. All of a sudden, the lights all went out inside the plane. He lost all electrical power. The radio was out. The instrument panel was out. He didn't know where he was and where he was going. He brought it down below the clouds, and suddenly there was a city there. He looked and looked to see if he could find a place to land. And then he saw a green light. He said, "Look, there's a light for planes in distress." He started heading toward that light. Meanwhile, down in the airport, Sidney was continuing with his tour. He was just getting to the part where he threw the lever to turn on the outside runway lights. And all of the lights outside burst into bright, bright lights against the dark night. He said, "This is the runway lights, and this is how I turn them off." And he turned them off. Meanwhile, up in the plane, Franklin was heading toward that green light. He didn't know where it was taking him, but suddenly the lights burst on and a runway was showing beneath him, and he came in for a landing. As he was heading toward the hangar, the lights went out. The instructor said, "You'd think they could have waited until we got to the hangar." Well, he was a little bit annoyed, but Sidney was a little bit surprised when somebody said, "Hey, Sidney, a plane just landed." "What?" He wasn't nearly as surprised as when he found out who was walking through the door. Franklin Graham, the son of the famous preacher Billy Graham. Billy Graham had been praying and praying for his safe arrival. And you can see how this incredible Godwink shows that long-distance prayers really work, because Franklin Graham landed safely.